Cricket presents The Campfire, and today we are analyzing the lower classifications. Let's begin by taking a look at some 4 and 3A teams in our film session. The 4A district in Division 1 that everyone in the Metroplex should keep an eye on is 7-4A. This district has perennial power Salina, Frisco Panther Creek, former 5A stalemate Lake Dallas, and Aubrey, among others. That's not even mentioning East Texas juggernauts from Paris and Sulphur Springs. So yeah, that'll be a gauntlet. Panther Creek won this district last year as they came from almost nowhere to go undefeated in district play. They need to replace Braxton Roberts at quarterback, but Sentinel Simpson and Christian Trickett return at receiver, which will make the job easier for the new signal caller. Salina will continue to hand the ball off to junior Logan Gutierrez and senior Harrison Williams, who both prove they can gobble up yards with the best of them. 4A Division 2 should be interesting as Brock moves up from 3A and hopes to make a name for themselves in a larger classification. Brody Woods was his district's offensive MVP in 3A and will bring his experience up with the Eagles in 4A too. There's no denying who to keep an eye on in 3A Division 2. The Gunter Tigers will be the favorites to make another run at a state title behind running back Brock Body. Toller is moving up to 3A after making it to the state title game in 2A last year. We will have to see how they do with the fierce competition of 3A. Switch to Cricket Wireless and get blazing fast 5G for your entire family and 4 lines for only $25 per month each. Smile, you're on Cricket. For an even deeper look at the lower classifications, here's producer Ward Fasold and insider Matt Diggs with the district breakdown.
All right, it is district breakdown time, and my guy Matt Diggs is with us again. We're in his domain, we're in small schools, and we're talking lower classifications. We're talking 2A and up. Speaking of 2A, you teased it last week. You have some fun little hypotheticals for us, man. Let me know what you got for me for 2A.
Well, what I'm excited about here in 2A, I know we lost Toller. Toller, that's our big 2A team in Division 1 that we lost. But the way realignment worked this year in Division 2 and in Division 1, we now have what I define. Now, you and I might have to have a debate about this, but what I define as DFW schools in Region 3 this year in Division 1 and in Division 2. So, Ward, I think we could hypothetically see down the line a DFW versus DFW 2A state championship. Not very likely.
Who do we need to see in 3A since we're not going to go see Brock? We'll go see
Brock,
Gunter and who else?
We got moved up, but really we could just copy and paste what we do last year because Gunter is going to be by far that region favorite in 3A in Region 2. But then you've got this killer district, and there are a lot of killer districts, and we're going to be talking about them for the next couple of weeks because 5A Division 2 has some of those crazy districts. But you got Aubrey moving up. You got Salina, who we know everything about Salina. You got Panther Creek, who kind of showed us last year. They gave Anna everything that they wanted in that regional semifinals, and probably the only team that had a chance to beat Anna in their state championship run. You got Lake Dallas moving down from 5A Division 2, and they got a lot coming back. You got Paris and Sulphur Springs, two Eastern DFW, East Texas teams that keep an eye on. The Veda community's got to be looking at this realignment going, what did we do to deserve this? Because you've got 6 teams who are legitimately playoff teams in this district, 7-4A, and I'm looking at 8-4A, and we got an all-DISD district, but I can't see any of, in the next 2 years, either of these teams in 8-4A beating any of the teams in 7-4A. So it is going to be a gauntlet to get out of District 7-4A.
All right, Diggs, I appreciate it. We will talk to you next week.
See you next week.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now let's take a look at some game changers and our players on the rise presented to you by Parker University. At Panther Creek, Sentinel Simpson didn't get to showcase his receiving skills too much as a junior, but that should change this year. Simpson was a running back in 2023 and ran for 675 yards and 13 touchdowns, earning himself first-team All-District. But Sentinel is being recruited to play receiver in college, and he'll get more opportunities this year. He only caught 10 balls last year for 149 yards, but those numbers will rise in the fall. Simpson has offers from Tulsa, Indiana, and Pittsburgh, among others. Stephenville's Tristan Gentry is a multi-talented football player for the Yellow Jackets. However, it's at receiver where Tristan excelled in his first 2 years. He caught 74 balls for over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. And this was coming off a 61-catch, 1,100-yard season where he reached the end zone 14 times. Tristan will be taking his talents to the Big 12 as he is verbally committed to Texas Tech. Another multi-positional player is Preston Harrison at Mineral Wells. Listed as a tight end, Harrison can be found in the Rams secondary. Preston caught 17 balls for 374 yards and 8 touchdowns as a junior. He also ran the ball for 141 yards and 2 more scores. Harrison is also not afraid to do the dirty work in the blocking game as well. Harrison will also be headed to Lubbock to play for Texas Tech. Gunter has a speedster in their secondary by the name of Colin Peacock. The senior is put in coverage because the Tigers know he'll track down any would-be ball catcher and break that pass play up. Peacock runs a 10.500 and is also a hard hitter as the Tigers' last line of defense. Colin will be heading to Baylor for his college ball. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. Switch to Cricket and get a new Moto G 5G for free. That's free, as in $0. Isn't that just mind-blowing? Smile, you're on Cricket. Our Ward Fasold caught up to Brock head coach Billy Mathis to talk about his Eagles in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day, and I am joined with Brock head coach Billy Mathis. Coach, man, the first thing we want to talk about when we talk about Brock football is we moving on up. I don't mean to sound like the Jeffersons, but we're moving up from 3A to 4A. And I'd love to know, and I think the viewers would love to know, what that entitles as a coach, because you get set in your ways in 3A. You know, these are the kind of teams we want to play in the non-district. We got this kind of competition in our district. But now you're moving into a whole new category here, a whole larger classification. What changes for you, maybe during your off season first, and then maybe we'll talk about during the season?
You know, really and truly, I mean, there's not a lot of change for us on what we do off season wise, and you know, because our off season consists of most of our kids are all running track, they're playing baseball, you know, powerlifting. So, you know, that stays pretty consistent year in and year out. And, you know, our number one goal during the spring and off season is to go out here and have a chance to win a state championship and, you know, football, baseball, track, powerlifting, you know, and everything else that we do from the 7-on-7 and all that. So, you know, not a lot changes there. You know, looking forward to the teams we're playing, you know, and for 7-on-7 and things like that, you know, that's really where the change is. It's just you're having an opportunity to play, you know, new faces, people that you're not used to playing, and, you know, going places that you're not used to going. You know, the last couple of years, you know, our district's been pretty close to the same. So playing the same people, going to the same places, so you know what to expect. Now, you know, it's all wide open. And, you know, with Mineral Wells being in the district, of course, they're close. And, you know, Graham, we've played playoff games at both Mineral Wells and at Graham, you know, the past couple of years. So we're familiar with a little bit of the facilities and stuff. But, man, we're excited about the opportunity, you know, excited the way that Brock is growing.
Well, it's going to be fun. 4A is a new challenge, but I expect Brock to handle that challenge with flying colors like they normally do. So we will see you come August, into August, and we'll get ready for some more football. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we dive into Class 5A, starting with 3 5A Division II. Until then, have a great week, everybody.